What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video, I'm gonna get just straight into it. I'm actually already into it, and I always start projects like this. I just start doing the project and then I decide it'll probably be a good video to film. So basically I'm about 20 minutes into figuring out how to hook up my boost gauge, and I'm doing the A-pillar setup. I'm not going where everyone else goes, where the clock is. Like, a lot of Subarus have like those three gauges with a clock. So it's a little bit more complicated to kind of fish the wires through to go to the A-pillar, make everything work out good. So basically I'll be using the clock wiring stuff because it's all there and it's labeled from Subaru for my boost gauge, but I'm gonna have to be routing the wires under my dash basically, and to where the A-pillar gauges hook up. So before I started recording, I wanted to kind of figure out the direction I was going to go and how I was going to fish it through, and I finally figured out a little hole that I can go through to where I can hook everything up. So I'm going to hop down there, hop in the Subaru, show you guys what I'm doing right now, and we're going to learn how to hook up a boost gauge. Let's do it. Shoes are off, drill is out. Bunch of stuff taken apart. Yeah, it's a Subaru project. Okay, you can see we are slightly taken apart here. This is what I will be tapping into to make my gauge actually work. And then I had to peel up this guy because I kind of figured out a way to route the wires going from here to this yellow wire here. You can kind of see actually goes through up. Can you see the yellow? Let's see. You can see the yellow here. So I'm actually going to run all my wires underneath this thing, coming all the way over to my A-pillar stuff, and then all my wires will be coming down and then connect basically right here, and then I'll tuck everything all nice and we'll be all good to go. So look what Subaru did so nicely. So where that little harness hooks up, they actually labeled, I don't know if you can see here, you can barely see, but they labeled where all the pins are in order. ACC, there's like ignition on, ignition off, and I can't really read those guys. Battery, ground, and whatnot. So it's all labeled for all the pins. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug in that connector right there into here, and then figure out which wire is which, and then basically I'm gonna cut that thing off, start tapping in for my wires here, and hopefully this gauge is gonna work. Alright, so this seems pretty basic. I wasn't doing it for a while because I thought it was gonna be kind of hard, but I think I understand what this thing is saying. It says connect the red wire to a switched 12-volt source. It says a switched 12-volt source comes on as soon as the ignition on the car is keyed on. So the wire that I'll be tapping into is probably going to be the ACC. I'm in a little bit of a mess here, but I think I'm finally onto something, and I figured out what wires I actually need to hook up to. I had to get the multimeter out because I was confusing myself. Basically all I need for this gauge is, or at least to make it work, ground, ACC, and also when you turn on your headlights it dims. I think if I tap into that then my gauge will dim too. That's what this is saying. I'm gonna go for it and see what happens, but I'm pretty sure I just literally need those three. I'm gonna hook them up right now to see if the gauge actually works, and if it does then we're good to go. I swear I think I know what I'm doing. Okay, let me explain. So basically what I've done so far is I figured out the three wires that I need to actually get this gauge working. It's a ground, it's an ACC, which is the accessories, and then also basically a switchback, if you want to call it that. When I turn on my headlights, my gauge will dim. The gauge also does like a tachometer where I could set like the RPM at which I want the shift light to go off. I'm not hooking that up today. I just want to get this hooked up to see if it actually works and I'm on the right path. So this is the little hole that I found that I can fish my wires through. Check it out. Right in there. So you guys see this little guy right there? I noticed there's wires coming off of it. I don't know if it's like a temperature sensor or whatever, but there's some wires coming off of this. Then I just followed these wires, and there's actually a hole. You can't really see, but I'm telling you right now, there is a hole right behind there. And all I had to do is fish one wire through, and then I taped the other 3 to it, just like that. And now, well, of course that just came off. But now that I got those through the hole, now I can just fish all my wires through there. Then I'm gonna be running it underneath this panel all the way across to my A-pillar. And I did make sure this is all the right length as well. I just kind of fished it overlaid, made sure it's the right length. Now I'm just gonna fish these wires through, connect them, and I'll show you which wires to connect them to in just a minute. And then we're on the right path, I think. So I just finished up wiring up the gauge. I still need to hook up the actual boost part, but that's literally just like a plug and play, like a literal connection. All the actual like hard wire, I gotta crimp all the connectors. That's all done. So I think if I turn key right now, the gauge should turn on. Well, let's see if I know what I'm doing. All right, here's the gauge. Go ahead and turn key. See what happens. Let's go, boys. Oh my god. Wow. Well, that was legitimately the first time I tried to turn it on. Oh my god. That was dope. That was really dope. That was first time I ever tried. That was honest reaction. I didn't know it was actually gonna work right there. So now I'm just gonna hook up the actual boost part, which is gonna be super easy. I'm just gonna run it through the firewall, run up through here, run across, no big deal. Let's get it done. So let me just go over what I have done to actually get the gauge on and working and hooked up, and be able to turn on when I actually turn key. So basically all I did is I tapped into a ground, which is the black wire on the clock harness. Then for the gauge to actually turn on when you turn on the key for accessory, I tapped into the yellow. No. So I'm seriously dyslexic and colorblind, I think. Yes, no, I tapped into the yellow with the blue stripe for the accessory. And then for it to dim at night, which I haven't even tried yet, I tapped into the white with a red stripe. And then I just followed the Innovate instructions, hooked it up to, I believe they give you a black, red, and a white. Hooked everything back up. Everything turns on. Now the last thing I gotta do is hook up my actual PSI little port for the intake manifold, which is just gonna be a tube, this little box thing. I just gotta run it through the firewall and then connect it to this guy, and we're gonna be all good to go. I'll go over everything at the end, but so far so good. Now moving on to the engine bay part, I officially got all of the connections connected. So where a lot of people go is like this blow-off valve port, because this goes straight to the intake manifold. But I'll be using this one over here because a lot of people use this one too, and that's what I recommend. So all you need to do is get this little hose here, cut it in half, then use the T that's provided, put it in there. A little bit of WD-40 doesn't hurt on just like the tips to make it easier to go in. Then they provide you with little zip ties, zip tie, zip tie. Then they give you this hose. I just used this little provided hose, tucked it under, went under my intake manifold, brought this guy over here, tucked it in there so it doesn't move, but this is the other little piece that talks to the gauge. I'm going to end up zip tying it just around here. So then you just attach the air line there. Then the wire goes all the way under here, tucks, comes up here, runs along, and then straight down. And then to go through the firewall, all I did is, this is for my bags right here. So I just followed this all the way down, zip tied this wire for my bags and this for my gauge, zip tie them together. And then if you just follow this all the way down, you'll eventually get to a hole in the firewall, which is down there. So then just came up here, went around, up, and pops out here. Best way that I found to bring this guy up here, I just got a piece of hard wire. I stuck it down there, let the wire drop, taped these together, pulled the wire back out, and everything's hooked up, ready to go. We are alive. Everything is hooked up. The boy Jordan came through to check it out. Finally tucked all the wires. Gauge is on more than ever. I have not.
Crazy.
What?
Was out of your car.
What?
That your engine was out of your car.
It was.
And now it's back in.
And now it's just in. Is that weird? Anyway, I'm super stoked this boost gauge works now. I still haven't hooked up the tachometer part. You have to hook into like ignition negative and then run another wire, which I'll do eventually. I'll probably end up doing that probably this weekend, but I just want to make sure that everything is hooked up, ready to go. So if I hit the gas, it should go, it should change. Yeah. Alrighty, I'm stoked. Alright, now we're gonna have that full start up. It's gonna be super, super sick at night. I think the first thing that's gonna turn on is probably gonna be my gauge. There's the gauge. Airlift coming on. There that is. Access port's on. Hey, let's go. So like I said, Jordan came through. We're about to go actually wash cars. And I feel like this video is a little bit too short, so I'm gonna take you guys along with me, and then I want you guys to see this gauge at night, because obviously who doesn't want to see a boost gauge at night? So we're just gonna cruise around town, wash the whips, enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. That was weird. Nothing better than a fresh wash. This is one of my favorite places to park my car. I honestly don't really know why. It just looks really good with a super plain background because it's just so blue. And also I love how you can see the gauges now. That's one thing I didn't really think about when I was going A-pillar is like how much you can actually see them like outside of the car. They're probably really illegal and I'm probably gonna get pulled over, but it's okay, I guess. I don't know. We're gonna wait for Steven, or hopefully meet up with Steven pretty soon. He wants to take some photos of the boost gauge that is now installed, and Jordan just got finished up washing his car too. So we're gonna head out, get something to eat, and I cannot wait to see this thing at night. I'm so excited, and you guys are gonna have to wait to see it too. So we just got finished eating. Steven pulled up, Jordan pulled up, and we're gonna see what the boost gauge looks like now that it's like kind of dark. You excited?
I was like, okay.
What do you want me to do?
Just go.
Dude.
No, I was dying this whole time.
God damn it. Alright.
It's just one.
Okay, you ready?
It's just one.
That's about it. That's all it does. That's all it does, you know? That's it.
That was anticlimactic.
What do you mean? That was kind of cool. Or no? Wasn't that
I don't
cool?
want to take pictures anymore because I thought it was going to be all three of these.
I don't have, dog, this one gauge legitimately took me 3 hours. 3 hours to, I don't know why. It took so freaking long. Well.
Okay.
Jordan's going, everyone's over it. Look how gorgeous today is. Perfect lighting to see the boost gauge to end out the video. And this freaking Honda is ruining my shot. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Perfect. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to show you guys. Basically the last thing that I wanted to say before I end the video is, do I need to start daily vlogging? Like, is that what needs to go down? Because I am officially out of school as of last week, so I'm officially on summer break. I'm gonna have some more time to do some videos, which I'm really excited about, but I am working a lot. I am saving up for something. Unfortunately, I'm saving up for something that's more like adulting and more than like dumping money back into this car. I'll definitely have that video out sometime this week and tell you guys what I'm saving up for. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I really hope I got my point across, and the fact that it is fairly easy to install this boost gauge. I really hope I did a decent job at explaining on how to install it. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment down below, and I'll try my best to comment back. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.